Do not send any hate or honestly comments of any kind to anyone mentioned in this video on behalf of me or yourself. The purpose of this video is to give my commentary and opinion on matters of public concern. Thank you.
Order, order, order. We need to talk about this David thing, okay? We need to talk about the David thing. So right around during this time, that an alter ego would be born. Now, we are going to get back to this alter ego, but I want to put it, because we're talking about the timeline, right here. It was during the signing process of negotiating and signing with Interscope Records, Josh Marshall and these people, that he made the video for Romantic Homicide. That's the first time we're going to see Itami. But this is around the period of time where Itami starts to become born. It's this idea of an alter ego in David's mind. Now, during this time, he's making the first song, Run Away. The second song, Here With Me, the Here With Me song, he actually didn't release it as a normal song at first. He released it in this high-pitched up type of... I'll put a clip in here. I know y'all have seen these TikToks. They all did go super viral. But he was basically doing covers of songs, real songs, as Alvin the Chipmunk, pretty much. That's what he was calling it, because he was getting copyright struck. So he's trying to find a way around the copywriting. And then he starts writing his own songs, making his own music, and he does that in the Alvin the Chipmunk voice too.
But I promoted it as a chipmunk. So I was like, Alvin made the next hit, blah, 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 Heartbreak, and then Crazy. But then people didn't connect the dots still. So I
Show
changed
me that
my name.
one. Show
I
me
got
that
you.
first.
I got you.
So one day he's like, all right, look, here's my new song. Alvin the Chipmunk wrote a new song. If y'all like it, I'll put out the original. And people loved it. So he puts out the original. And this is just, it starts to show this wasn't an accident. This kid, and at the time he's a teenager. He's under the age of 18 at this time. He knows how to catch the algorithm. He's got the sauce. Somehow or another, whether he's doing it as Alvin the Chipmunk, whether it's somebody else, whether he's figuring out which songs are already on the algorithm, he's figured it out. And he starts getting call and call and call from record label after record label. Now, right as his songs are blowing up, Kylie Jenner used his sound and he got shadow banned. Okay, so I'll refrain from any conspiracy theories, but I do just want to put that right there. Okay. So after those first two songs, this is like pretty much his third song he puts out, Romantic Homicide. It's his most popular song today. It's got over 1.5 billion streams on streaming services, and he put that one out, debuted it as Alvin the Chipmunk as well. So he puts it out in this high-pitched voice, and again, he's like, you know, I'll put out the real one if you like it. His mom hated it. And I can imagine that she did, because she's this very Pentecostal, religious lady who didn't even let her kids listen to that music. I mean, this is really somebody who went above and beyond. She didn't even let her kids listen to that. They could only listen to gospel and classical. She's like, no, you're not. What do you mean? Romantic Homicide, please.
And then I made Romantic Homicide, and it was so different than everything else I had made, because it was actually sad. It was slow, it was sad, it was emotional, it had weight to it. Most of my other songs, like Take Me to the Sun and The Dirty Secrets before that, and You and I, they're all like these indie up-tempo records that you could just like do whatever to. And I played it for my mom. And whenever my mom hates something, I know it's cool. Like when I used to get up and get dressed for school in the morning, I put on this cool fit. She would like, take that off, put on a suit or something like that, you know? I knew it was cool if she hated it. I played it for her in the car. And she was like, David, this song is too violent. You're talking about people in your music? No, not my son. And I was like, wait, I might be onto something, bro.
David previously thought it was too dark too, but once his mom hated it, he knew he had a hit. Again, he talks at some point about how he was feeling during the time he was writing this song, and this is before he graduated from high school. He said he felt isolated. Homeschooling really takes a toll on a kid, he said. He says he was sad. For 4 years he homeschooled. Romantic Homicide came from a place of him wanting to feel what the other kids were feeling. He wanted to feel heartbreak. He made up and invented fake scenarios in his own mind, played out fantasies in his mind just to write songs about it. And that, he said, later would become his life. Ended up being, it was a little prophetic.
Homeschooling really takes a toll on a kid. Like
isolation.
Yeah, and there's outlets like, I know I made a couple friends now that were homeschooled, but they had like these groups that they would go to like bi-weekly and just to socialize. But I didn't have that. Like there was no like extracurricular activities I was involved in it was just me at home playing Fortnite, getting schoolwork done, learning how to code and build computers for 4 years. 4 years. So yeah, man, Romantic Homicide was just like, I wanted to feel what the other kids were feeling. Like everybody I knew, well, in middle school that I didn't talk to anymore, everybody had relationships. I didn't have a relationship. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be involved in this or have a heartbreak for myself. So I kind of just like made up these scenarios of myself getting heartbroken and being in love and stuff.
Now, David has claimed that God and this so-called faith-based thinking, being founded on the rock of God, was still important to him during writing romantic Homicide. He said they were still having Bible studies every Saturday.
And we have family Bible study every Saturday.
In the mini documentary, there's a video interview with his Pentecostal preacher pastor. I mean, you can see him right there. He was in the gospel choir, David was.
It's still with me. Like, that's my main melodic influence for a lot of the stuff I do right now. And like gospel and classical as a whole. Just like, I love pianos. And so a lot of the new music I'm making has a lot of pianos in it. It's a lot of soul. So yeah, that's a big part, especially being choir. You help out quite a bit with our youth department here. Always so inclusive with all of the youth group. It's the ability that you have to connect with people.
He says God is grounding to him. God is his therapist. When he gets overwhelmed, he goes and asks God, how do I approach this? How do I handle this? How do I do it properly? He said he prays. Okay, so I mean, other than like a little bit of like dark imagery in his art, kind of like, all right, so cute. You know, I feel like I'm rooting for David at that point, you know. Not knowing what we know today. So he does finish high school, and he had released those 2 songs in July. So I guess, amendment, it was after. He had just finished high school. He released those 2 songs in July. By August, he's viral, and labels were calling. I mean, they wasted no time. No time at all. He's going viral, and the labels are calling.
He came downstairs one night, and we were in the kitchen, and he said, I have something to tell y'all. It's like, what? It's like, this label, it's like, keep calling and labels. I was like, we were like, what are you saying? Why stop playing?
I thought it was a scam. I said, listen, David, just be careful who you're talking to. There's a lot of things going on online. Until we flew to LA, it's like, okay, that's just kind of, this is reality. This is not a scam. This is not. Yeah.
His music at that point started to get more views than the video game videos, and he was making more money on the music through the DistroKid app than streaming. So he eventually does put out a music video for romantic Homicide. He's 17. He's uploading songs as Alvin the Chipmunk. He starts getting calls from labels. He ends up signing with a label, Interscope. He does everything on his cell phone. Again, earbuds and a little microphone. You know, he don't even have a microphone. He's got the little one on the headphone jack. That's what he made Romantic Homicide in that. It's crazy. Okay, so at some point he has to start going by an artist name, and that's where this David is born, this D4vd. Predictably, David chose this name to do well in the algorithm. He knew if you typed in D4vd, it would be, you know, algorithmic. So I wasn't really able to find in the timeline that I had given myself to work on this video, I was not able to get into too much of the label negotiations, but that's something that I do wonder about and I may explore at a later time. Like, I'm very interested in which labels were hitting him up, because he says that there were many labels that were hitting him up, but he did end up signing with Interscope, which is under UMG, which I find to be very interesting, considering that's the whole reason he started making music at all, was because UMG was copyright striking him. So they kind of created you know, this person, and then they sign him. So anyway, he gets signed, but he doesn't have a lot of life experience. And throughout this video, David reminds me of other artists, young artists who I've covered in the past. I believe I already mentioned some earlier. Mr. Beast, he reminds me of, I don't know if I would call Mr. Beast an artist specifically, but a YouTuber. Like, he poured his whole heart and soul and identity into, no matter what, doing whatever it takes to get famous on YouTube. That's what he wanted. Now here, this, you know, he didn't have a lot of life experience. It started to remind me at this point of Usher. If you've seen my video that I made on Usher, the rise of Usher, you know, he was just he was like 13 whenever he started auditioning for these record labels, and he was singing like songs that were older than his age. Like, what does this 13-year-old know about this? But nevertheless, you know, David says he didn't really have a lot of life experience. He had never even heard a song till 6th grade other than gospel and classical. And you know, we can't just have these unadulterated Christian good moral kids running around here in Hollywood unadulterated. Absolutely not. That simply won't do. You know, another place, he's like, when he first came out on the scene, he had all these ideas. He didn't even have a genre locked down. You know, he could do anything. He's like, I hadn't lived very much life. So of course, naturally what they do what they do. They put him out on tour with SZA. And girl, We already know what SZA gets up to, okay?
There might be like a 75-year-old man sitting next to a young man who's just taken like toad venom for the first time, and he's like trying to find himself this evening next to like my mom wearing like a bedazzled shirt that says like bada bing on it or something, and then like SZA's like singing a song in the other room. And
Now put a pin in Benny Blanco, because he's gonna keep popping his little head right out the groundhog hole too. He said he looked forward to having his first love, and specifically his first heartbreak, because then he could write a better album. I mean, this is how naive this kid is at this point. He'd never even been in love. So God only knows what SZA and David were getting up to between 2021 as a homeschool kid and 2025 to give him these so-called life experiences. But they were doing stuff. I do know that his mom and family, his whole family, went on the tour bus with him on the SZA tour to most of the, maybe all of the locations. But I do wonder if during this time is whenever he may have become acquainted with Celeste Rivas Hernandez. It's all giving me flashbacks to Usher, who was with P. Diddy. Remember that? P. Diddy at the Flavor Camp after grinding for the grown ladies at the LaFace Records because he had to go, quote, learn the lifestyle, and they were fighting over the cornflakes. Speaking of P. Diddy and cornflakes, what about whenever he took a guardianship over a little young 15, 16-year-old Justin Bieber for those 24 or 48 hours or whatever? Anyway, I digress. So he says he was homeschooled. He didn't have life experiences. People were even asking him, like, how do you write about love and all these beautiful things if you've never been in a relationship? He said, I'm a prophet, bruh. I just spoke it into my own life.
Hey, you were living a different life.
Yeah, I didn't have nothing to talk about like that. And people were asking me, how'd you write all these beautiful songs when you have no relationship? I was like, man, I'm a prophet, bro. I just spoke it into my own life. Like, you know, crazy.
Finding friends, losing friends, finding relationships, losing relationships. Everything's kind of been shaping and leading up to this project. The project is the album.
Of, you know, getting outside my house and exploring the world and finding friends, losing friends, finding relationships, losing relationships. It's just everything has kind of been shaping and leading up to this project in such a domino effect way, you know?
Like just living life and it fueling.
This album is my life. Like Withered is my life.
So now let's talk about the debut album. It came out this year. The name of the album is Withered, in reference to a beautiful white rose that gets damaged. Withered, debut album, it comes out April this year. And some of the things David says in the promo, in retrospect, are a little strange in hindsight. Like, first of all, Discord is my biggest fan base. Put a pin in that.
I guess the most important part is that my Discord likes it. My Discord is my core fan base. So if, you know, someone's not vibing with someone at Interscope, I'll be like, I sneak it in the Discord and leak it myself.
Really?
He talks about this ghost of a girl that he killed. He talks about an alter ego, Itami, having victims. He's a cult leader. You know, I'll just put some clips in here.
I get carried away by the cult members of Itami's cult. So Itami has gained a name for himself, and he has these followers now that are agents of chaos like him. And they also wear the blindfolds. And when they wear the blindfolds, that signifies that they're being controlled by him. And the red string that they kind of wrapped around these trees and moved around my body are symbolizing the Korean ideology of the invisible string theory. Entire aesthetic and my entire being is like withered. My entire being.
What does it mean to be withered?
So the entire aesthetic of this project is returning to the dust. A rose grows from the dirt and then it also decays back into the dirt. So with this project, the way I made it, the way I'm talking about the themes on this project, the way I'm talking about my emotions and my feelings, it's all returning to the dirt with this. It's like a entire life cycle.
So as it turns out, this album wasn't even David's first or second attempt at making an album. He had already tried to make an album 2 times ever since he got signed. He worked on making an album for 2.5 years, but he said the one that ended up actually being his Withered album only took about, what did he say, a week or 10 days to make the whole album?
A song a day for 2 weeks. We stayed there for 2 weeks and made a song a day, and we tried our best to beat the first song, beat the second song, beat the third song, just make the best music possible.
And so it was that he was trying with these other kind of probably softer, less demonic and less sociopathic murderer vibe. One of them was called Petals with Thorns, or Petals to Thorns, one called Lost Petal. And all this, like, you know, kiss from a rose falling on the thorn, kiss from the gray. It's kind of just giving like, what is the rose supposed to symbolize? Anyway, so he's like, petals and thorns and the lost petal are what I wanted my life to be. It's what I wanted my life to be. Withered, the album we actually end up getting, is my life, he says. It is his life, Withered.
As I said before, I view myself as this rose very beautiful, but can stab you, can hurt you with the thorns. And with the withering process, withered is kind of like the decaying and the withering away and the ending of the life cycle of this rose, kind of signifying the ending of an era. I want there to kind of be like a battle of good and evil between me and Itami at some point to signify the ending of the era.
Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching that clip. If you want to see the full video, do go over there. You'll be able to click it somewhere right here,